Hi, Facebook. As promised, I'm here with Jason Jean from Homestead Mortgage, the Jean Group.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. We are here to discuss VA loans. And I'm very excited to bring him here to discuss this product and this process because I know there's a lot of you out there that are interested in it. So, Jason, what is a VA loan?
Well, the VA loan is it's one of the best loan programs out there on the market. So we love doing it because we love working with vets.
Okay.
Our really just deep admiration to the soldiers and whatnot. Really just the government actually did something right, with the VA loan. And it really is one of the best loan programs on the market, regardless of what things look like with respect to finances. So we can get people approved for no money down loans with no monthly PMI.
Which is private mortgage insurance.
Which is private mortgage insurance, which most people pay if they put less than 20% down.
This is true.
Okay, so this is no money down with no monthly PMI and 30-year fixed rates. The interest rates are often lower than what you might see advertised.
Now, how would a veteran apply for a VA loan?
So the VA doesn't actually do these loans.
Okay.
Okay.
I was not aware of that.
Right. The VA is just the insurer of the loan. So really, the VA comes out and says, this is the people that we're looking for, and then the banks will provide the money and do all of the underwriting and approvals and whatnot. So for a veteran to qualify, they actually have to contact a bank, a mortgage company, mortgage broker, etc. Me, we do VA loans. Yes, thank you. They have to contact them and find out whether or not they're going to qualify.
Okay.
And I will say that some banks, the VA sets like the minimum standards.
Okay.
And so some banks will add additional restrictions.
Okay.
So let's say that the VA says, lowest credit score is X. Well, a bank can come in and say, well, geez, we don't want anything lower than Y. So you may get turned down at one bank, whereas you could go to another one and get approved. Now,
let's talk credit when it comes to veterans. Is there anything that someone could do to improve their credit? What are your thoughts on credit?
Yeah, we get a lot of questions with credit.
Okay.
So because especially like you go away to a foreign country for a couple of years, it's tough to pay your bills on time, unless you have a dedicated spouse who's pretty good at that. So, there's a lot of circumstances where the credit's not perfect, and the VA loan is really, really great in that it doesn't beat you up on credit. There is a minimum standard, so you can't just have this terrible, terrible credit. But one of the things we do on our team is really a lot of, we're not credit repair specialists. Okay, I don't want to give that vibe, but we do want to give back. And so, any veteran that comes to us that says, I just don't know where my credit is, or I know I got some bumps and bruises, well, that's totally fine. Let's figure out what you need to do to get you approved.
Yes.
Okay. So and it doesn't cost anything. It's not like you come in and we're going to charge you $100 an hour for all we do is we pull your credit. It does go out as a hard inquiry, and we get that. Well, I don't want to pull my credit. Mortgage inquiries really are it's not bad at all. So we pull the credit and we go, this is what you need to do, X, Y, and Z. We create a timeline, and then we follow up with you in 6 months or 2 weeks or however long it's going to take. And we have a really great track record of getting people pre-approved, sometimes months later or whatever.
Yes.
That's why it's important not to wait.
I always urge my buyers, do not be afraid to go out and try to see where you are at, because it's only a jumping off point for you. It doesn't hurt you to have a clear picture of where you are, especially if you're trying to set a goal of having something stable like owning a property versus renting.
Yeah.
How does a person get a certificate of eligibility for a VA loan? How would a veteran receive that?
Get that? So the certificate of eligibility tells the lender, or the mortgage broker or whatever, tells us what if you're able to access this type of loan program.
Okay.
So just because you were in the reserves for 6 months, 10 years ago, doesn't mean you qualify. So therefore, we have to get a certificate of eligibility. And typically, We just get it.
Okay.
So what we get is most people have what's called a DD 214. And
if anybody has any questions on any of these things, feel free to private message me. I'll forward it to him, or message me now, and I'll have him answer any questions that you may be thinking. I'm Fallon Saldo at Keller Williams Realty in downtown Northampton, here with Jason Jean from Homestead Mortgage. We're discussing veteran loans.
Yeah, so we can do all of that legwork. But what we need is that DD 214, and I'd say about 80% of the time, you get us that DD 214. And what we're looking for is actually, it's in the bottom left corner of the paper. It says member 4. Okay. That's the copy. Okay, none of the service records. You just want member 4 copy of your DD 214. If you don't have a DD 214, you probably know. And then there are depending on the different branches of the military, there are other forms as well. If you don't have a form, then we have to go to your superior officer and get the history there, and those can take a little while. But I'd say about 80% of the time, we get that DD 214, and I have your certificate of eligibility same day, and sometimes it's instantaneously.
Wow.
So it's relatively easy. So the veteran does not need to go running around trying to get copies of the certificate of eligibility, because we're going to get it anyways.
Great. So that's something that you can help them with.
Yeah. That's easy and automatic usually.
And what is acceptable proof of military service? Is that the certificate of eligibility?
That's the DD 214, and then or whatever NGB form, whatever that they have,
And if a person has already obtained a VA loan in the past, can they get another one?
That is a great question. That's a lot of misinformation on that out there. Yes, you can absolutely get a second VA loan. And not only can you get a second VA loan, but you don't necessarily have to have your first VA loan paid off.
This is something that I've come across as well, so please explain.
Okay, so like a lot of people think you can only have one VA loan at a time.
Okay.
And when people come to us, there's a calculation. I'm not going to bore you all to, with respect to what the calculation is, although that's,
thank you.
That's my passion. I'm a former math teacher. But so we calculate how much eligibility you have left. And so the subsequent, use requires, it's kind of weird. You actually have to have a loan for over $144,000. And so as long as you go over the 144 and then under whatever the rest of your eligibility is, we can get you approved. Again, that's something that you won't be able to look at your certificate of eligibility and find out. We get the copy of the certificate, we do our calculation, and then we tell you what you're eligible for, and then we would, pull your credit, evaluate your income, and et cetera, and then see what you actually get approved for.
And so if somebody comes to you one day, they say they come to you on a Tuesday, and things are in line, when can you get them a letter to start shopping? That
depends on the person.
Okay.
So if you have really good credit, you've got a stable work history, and everything's pretty easy. Sometimes it's, hey, we've talked on the phone, you're a salaried individual, you know how much money you make. I mean, we want to get that information just to kind of back it up with your pay stubs, et cetera. But like some people, it's right away.
And to reiterate, these are loans that are 0% down with 0 PMI, private mortgage insurance, 30-year fixed.
Yes.
Great terms.
Yeah, it's like, it really is. Even if people have 20% down, sometimes we're still doing this loan because it's cheaper. The interest rates on it are phenomenal.
And do your interest rates vary from something like the USAA interest rate?
Yeah. So USAA is like, definitely one of the larger national lenders that really kind of focus on the veterans. And they're just like another bank. They're just like, they just are associated and affiliated a little bit more closely with veterans. And so, but they're just another bank with interest rates. And there's, I don't know how many banks with interest rates that do VA loans. I mean, hundreds, probably thousands.
Yes.
Okay, so every single interest rate is set by whatever single bank you're working with. And so that's why, like, that's reason number 362 why I've decided to become a mortgage broker, because we have access to hundreds of lenders. I'm not just working for one place that has an interest rate, and that's all what I have to sell everybody.
Certain products that are specific.
Yeah, because we priced one out, and one of our lenders was at about an interest rate of about 0.5% higher than another one.
Wow.
So you could be getting, if you just call one lender who just does it, and that's the only person you check with, you could be getting an interest rate of 0.5% higher for the same loan program.
Not to mention the fact that they won't counsel you, most likely. They'll tell you where you're at, tell you pass, fail, and don't see you through to the end if you need some help.
I was going to say that, mortgages, a lot of people don't understand. There's a service piece to the mortgage. It is way more complex. This goes with any type of mortgage. It's way more complex than it should be, but that's just where we're at in today's day and age. So therefore, mortgages are not a commodity. Realtors are not a commodity. We are a service-based industry.
Absolutely.
And so you're going to get different service levels.
Absolutely.
And so when you're buying anything out there, it's what does it do, and how much is it?
Yes.
Like we don't buy Apple computers because they're the cheapest. They just happen to really work well.
Yes.
Well, most of it, sometimes. But same thing with with realtors and mortgages. The rates will change, the service levels will change. And so when you're shopping around, you have to evaluate both those things, and that's
Something that's come up, and pardon me, something that's come up, questions that I've been messaged is the surviving spouse of a deceased veteran eligible for the home loan benefits?
Yeah, so it gets a little bit complicated with surviving spouses, and the answer is it depends.
Okay.
So and there's a lot of the VA is not always the easiest department in the United States government to work with, as I'm sure many of you can attest if you're a veteran. But they definitely have become a little bit like there's just misinformation with the VA. So I've struggled with surviving spouses to get proper information, but the answer is yes, they can be eligible.
Okay.
It's if the deceased veteran had died from a service-connected disability.
All right.
Then the surviving spouse will have a very good chance of being eligible, probably will be eligible. Now, we do have to get that surviving spouse's name on the certificate of eligibility, which, again, we've got to go through the VA. We help you through that. Don't call me on a Sunday because you just went to an open house and you want me to get the VA to do that for you overnight. Let's plan. But yeah, and then if the veteran died of a non-service connected disability, it depends on how long they were disabled, how long were they in the military, etc. So those.
And to follow that vein, what about children? Children
no.
Children are not.
No.
Okay.
No, just spouses.
Got it.
Yeah. So.
And then, is there anything as far as veterans that you see on a consistent basis about coming in, apprehensions, who should, who should not, things of that nature? Do you feel that there's anybody that is more qualified or less qualified with veteran, as you were saying, if you're in reserves 10 years ago? Is there a standard that you know of, a line that's dropped below where you don't get qualified?
I would just say that if you have any military experience, look into it. Try to get VA approved. You're going to save so much money.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you that you're going to buy the same house, but the VA loan is going to cost you $200 less a month.
Yes. That's
just
dramatic.
Try it. It doesn't, if you got, if you're working with us, we do most of the legwork for you anyways. If you're working with someone else, you may get misinformation, but there's a lot of good lenders out there, but yeah, just try it because you've got nothing to lose, and it's usually a way better option than a conventional mortgage, which, if your credit's not absolutely perfect, they're really raising the rates high on you.
So if you are a veteran or you know any veterans out there, how can these people get in contact with you to get started?
I guess, well, I guess our website is probably the easiest way to do it.
You want to shout that out?
Yeah, it's www.thegeneGroup.com. Gene happens to be my last name.
Jejean.
Jean. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people misspell that. It's just like a pair. It's just like a pair of jeans.
A pair of jeans.
So thegenegroup.com, it'll have all of our contact information. It's got a lot of information on there. We've got apps you can download. We've got tons of stuff. And our entire team, we've got a whole team of people that work together to try to have the fastest speed, the quickest response, best customer service. And our team is just, I really can't say enough good things.
I've heard many great things about them as well.
Yeah, I really am lucky to be surrounded with the people I am. So.
Excellent. And if you're looking specifically for a property, please contact me, www.noplacelikeHomesales.com. Fallon Saldo, Keller Williams in downtown Northampton. Feel free to stop by, visit me, visit my dog, and you can contact Jason Jean for Veteran Affairs loans, VA loans. Thank you so much, Facebook. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Fallon.
Bye now.